Well,
Internal Revenue Service. This is Miss Moeller, ID 1000-349-109. How may I help you, please?
sorry, just getting your busy season, I guess.
Get there.
Let me have my speaker on, I think, so I'm waiting. I'm employed, but I also have a small business, and I don't know how to, it's not a whole lot of income, how to represent that income on a, my individual tax return.
Okay, sir. So if you are self-employed, okay, first off, you know that you're starting with the 1040. Okay, you can't do an easier form. Okay,
Right.
you have to report it, and what you're doing is that you're reporting your income and any expense that you have against that income on the Schedule C or the
That's
Schedule
called a
C Easy.
Schedule C or Schedule C Easy.
There's some
Why?
questions on top of the easy form. If you answer those questions, you get away with doing a very, very basic form, okay?
I see,
Easy,
okay.
okay? And then once you net that out, okay, expense against income, you get a net profit on that
Uh-huh.
schedule, and then you carry that net profit over to line 12 on the 1040
I see.
for business income, and that gets added back into all the rest of your income, and you get taxed at your federal
I
income
see.
tax rate.
So in other words, if I made I think it was like $2,500, but I had expenses, I had to buy stuff, to do that, equipment, or I had travel fare. That's where I would put that on the easy form.
On either that or on
On the
on
Schedule
the
C.
Schedule C, sure. And you also may be liable for self-employment tax on that income.
I see. How do I
Okay.
find that out?
Okay. Well, here I can
Okay.
get down a couple real quick questions with you, and this is the way you would pay your share of the Social Security and Medicare tax on
Right.
that income.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. So if we're talking about income that you would have made in 2012, right?
Right.
Okay. And on the last day of 2012, were you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay. And are you a member of a religious sect requesting exemption from self-employment tax?
I guess not. I'll make one up though. If I... No.
You can join. And your filing status, sir? How do you normally file your returns?
Well, I filed joint with my wife. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if we say that self-employment, independent contractor, something of that nature, okay. So if you grossed about $2,500, how much do you think you're going to be able to net?
Okay. After expenses, I would say about 1,000.
Okay. Okay. And you always have the option to pay more into the Social Security Administration, and the computer tells you that because they think that's your only income. But obviously, if it's not, you don't want to pay more than what you have to. Okay. Did you receive any tip income subject to Social Security or Medicare that you didn't
No,
report
because
to an
I get a
employer?
salary. On my other job, I get a salary.
Okay. Approximately
Yeah.
how much is your wages? I don't need an exact.
About $60,000.
Okay. Okay. So here's your figure on when you're liable, which you are going to be liable. If you have net self-employment earnings of $400 or more, then you have to pay self-employment tax, and that's reported in the other taxes section of the 1040 on the self-employment tax line. So what you do is that net profit that you carried over to line 12, if you can get away with doing Section A, a short section on the front of the form, okay, you carry that over to line 2 on the Schedule SE.
So SE is the Social Security form, you mean?
Yeah, that's your Social Security and Medicare tax form. And then once you compute it, okay, there's 6 lines on this form. Once you compute your tax, then you carry that tax over to line 56 on the 1040 in the back, and you also get to deduct a certain percentage of that self-employment tax on the front of the form as an adjustment to income.
I see. So I need a 1040, I need a Schedule C Easy, and I need that SE. What is that form?
Yeah, Schedule SE. S is in Sam, E is in Edward, self-employment.
Okay, so that's Schedule SE, self-employment. Hence the word SE, huh? Okay, so I need those 3 documents to do this, right?
Right.
Okay. Now I don't have them in front of me, so if I get screwed up and I gotta call you guys again, or am I only allowed one call?
Yeah, one question, one call to a taxpayer, huh? No,
I
really.
don't
We're
know.
here from 7 to 7, Monday through Friday. You want time. You call small business, and if you get stuck on any of the forms, you make sure you call us.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
is there one other thing that what happens? Like, say, if I follow your instructions and the IRS gets it and they say, "Oh, this is wrong," and they're going to penalize me, and I sort of feel I did what you said. How do I fight you to pay this
Well,
penalty?
you know what? I mean, for self-employed individuals, okay, if your Schedule SE is wrong, they correct it for you. If your Schedule C is wrong, you know, you'll get a notice. But they're real picky about self-employed individuals, okay? When you
Yeah.
file the Schedule SE, you know, it runs through a computer program, and believe me, they'll just correct it if you're wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, but if there is a penalty involved, in other words, if I get the information I think is right from you guys, you know, and I put it on the tax form, and then it comes back and, oh no, this is wrong, and they assess the penalty, or
Well, anything before the due date of the return, they can't penalize you. Okay. So if you file early enough and there is an error, okay, they can't do anything to you. But I'll tell you what. Ultimately, regardless what we say, it all boils down to what you put on the return. Okay. It's always going to be your fault.
I can't.
Sorry. I shouldn't say that to you, but believe me, that's the way it's going to be.
No, I understand. I mean, that's probably right. But
you can always fight it too, because you can tell them it's IRS error. You know.
I see. So that's a case, and I could call up and go to the taxpayer. Isn't there an advocate or something?
Yeah, there's always an advocate for that. There's always a form for it too. Okay.
Yeah.
If you know, to file and claim.
So I could do that. Fight the penalty that way by either going through the advocate or there's of course you got a form for fighting you guys.
Oh, sure. I mean, the form 843. That's to get any type of penalty abated.
What is that form again?
Form 843.
843, and that's
right.
to get any penalty abated.
Yeah, any type
form
of a charge that they give you, okay, you can
that you
always
don't like,
fight by filing a formal claim, certainly.
And then if that doesn't work, then I could go to the advocate folks?
Well, certainly.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's terrific. Well, you guys, I guess, and you're a lot cheaper than H&R Block, aren't you?
Yeah, wait till you start doing it. But believe me, sir, you know, if you get away with doing the Schedule CEZ and the Section A on the Schedule SE, they're very, very basic. So, you know, you should breeze right through it.
Okay. Well, that's reassuring, and I appreciate your help, and thanks for being there for us.
Well, sure. You have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.